First thing I want to do is I want to introduce the lengthening breath. And this is a way of adding to your current breathing exercise routine. So what you're going to feel is your stomach's going to go back and down. Normally with a regular belly breath, anything's open up like that. We're actually going to have it go in the opposite direction. It's going to make you more upright. It's going to improve your posture, and that's going to give you better communication. It's also going to give you a better column of air, and you're going to be pointing your voice, your audio signal, to the people's ears instead of down lower. So we'll begin the lengthening breath by putting your thumbs on your bottom rib. You put your fingers onto your stomach, and you apply some gentle upward pressure as you inhale and lengthen. Then you relax and exhale, but try to keep this upright positioning here now. Okay, you may have noticed at the end that you did have your stomach coming out at the end. That's fine, but at the beginning you're going to feel this part going back and down as you get taller. Okay, so let's get into position again. Thumbs on the bottom rib. Here we go. Inhale and lengthen. Now while you're up here, just turn your head a little bit. Stretch from side to side, and you'll feel a little bit of that stretching sensation down there. Now you're going to exhale. And we'll do the third one now without our hands. So we're going to imagine, we're going to feel the stomach going back and down without having to push on it. Okay, so your hands are by your side. Nice upright position. Inhale. Maybe stretch a little bit. Look from one side and to the other. Exhale. Now let's take that lengthening breath and let's apply it directly to your exercises. So we're going to visualize that you have your wall right here. This is the first one, okay? So you have yourself in a position where you're starting here and maybe moving into a position where you're stretching out a little bit, and that's where you hold it for 30 seconds. So let's put that in position. Hold it there, lengthening breath. So the lengthening breath again, feel your stomach going back and down. Let's try it again. Good. Now because you are actually holding that for 30 seconds, let's go ahead and count out loud. Okay, so here we go. You're going to go in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now relax. When did you have to take a breath? When you were counting, you probably had to reload with air. Optimally, you would actually do that all the way to 30 on that one breath if you're carefully measuring it, but you're making good sound. So this time I want you to do the same thing. You want to keep track of that and see how far you can get to 30, how close you can get to the end of this exercise without having to take a new breath. The caveat, of course, is going to be that I don't want you to tighten up here, I don't want you to get quiet, so it has to be a good breath. If you can't do it immediately, this is still a great metric for progress, and you want to keep track of this from day to day. Okay, so get yourself in your position. You're going to take your lengthening breath, so feel your stomach going back and down. Count out loud. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Excellent. Did a little closer this time, I'm sure, right? Okay, and then for the third one, let's just add a little additional challenge. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, you're going to add an and in the middle. So you're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all the way up to 30. Okay? So go ahead and get yourself situated. You're going to start with a lengthening breath. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 and 14 and 15 and 16 and 17 and 18 and 19 and 20 and 21 and 22 and 23 and 24 and 25 and 26 and 27 and 28 and 29 and 30 and. Now you might notice, actually, you would think that it uses a lot more air, but actually it's the stopping and starting where that problem occurs. So the challenge there is coordinating and making sure you're doing all the articulation and keeping the extra load in there. You're using your voice more. You may have more difficulties controlling the breath as well, but that should come in time. Now, as we turn to your next exercise, where it's in the doorway in the corner there, so you have one hand on one wall and one hand on the other, and you can do the same counting, or you can add some resistance. Usually I start with a shh, but I make it fairly aggressive. I'm aggressively shushing someone at the library. And the idea behind that is you're adding resistance. You're getting additional load, but it's not a lot of volume, it's not a lot of sound. It's actually the same approach that would be underpinning EMST, expiratory muscle strength training, or resistance training for breathing, which have some good data, especially the threshold trainers for Parkinson's. Okay, so I'll demonstrate. We're going to use the lengthening breath, and this time, instead of counting out loud, you're just going to breathe out with a shh. Because you're using a lot more air, you will not be able to hold that for 30 seconds. So we'll do three shushes, 3 shushes per exercise, okay? Okay, let's get into position. Don't forget your lengthening breath. Ready? Shh. Take another breath in, lengthening breath. Okay, one more time, lengthening breath. Okay, relax for a second. Get ready for the next part of this. You're going to get in the right position, but instead of making a sh sound, make it more of an S sound. You're getting a s. I'm pushing really hard, okay? It's a lot of air I'm pushing out here. The S is a smaller sound, it is tighter, so it's going to be more effort, okay? Let's get in position. Begin with the lengthening breath. Very good. Let's try it again. Okay, last one. Excellent. Relax for a moment. Recover. Now for the last one, we're going to pretend we're blowing candles out, but it's candles that are about 6 feet away. Like that, okay? So you don't let your cheeks puff out. You're going to be blowing really hard, and if you do this right, particularly at the end of the breath, you're going to feel all these muscles moving forward and upward. That's exactly the point of this, okay? We're trying to strengthen these muscles, these submental muscles, okay? In through your nose, lengthening breath. Here we go. Okay, relax just for a second here. Resist the urge to let your cheeks puff out like Dizzy Gillespie. You want it nice and tight here. Ready? Next breath. Okay, recover for a second. Last one. Looking good. So that's how I would incorporate this into your daily routine. If you're already standing and you're doing this exercise and you're holding it for 30 seconds, you can always use your lengthening breath to give you more benefit out of that, because you're going to be strengthening these muscles and you're going to bring yourself more upright and increasing the stretch. And then also, you'll be using your voice to do the counting out loud, whether you count by ones or you add in the and, the 1 and 2 and. Okay? If that gets too easy for you, feel free to count by twos. Just count 2 to 30 or 2 to 60 or 3 to 90 or however you want to do it. But for now, just counting 1 to 30 should be sufficient. We're really strengthening your voice and not focusing so much on the cognition. I'm going to introduce another set of voice exercises. These don't replace the high intensity loud ahs and the stuff you do for LSVT, but they give you an option for strengthening and training the voice in a way that's maybe not so loud and won't attract so much attention, so you can use them at will when you need to be able to exercise, but maybe don't want to be as loud as you probably should be when you're working with your speech therapist. So these are called vocal function exercises. They were developed by a researcher named Joseph Stemple. Actually, he's a vocalist, so that means a voice therapist, a voice specialist. And we're going to have 3 components to it. So you're going to warm up, you're going to stretch out the muscles here. It's going to be called the glides, and then we're going to do the power exercises. So the first one we're going to do is an E sound, but it's going to be very nasal. So you take a breath in, and you're going to say the sound E, like an operator from the 40s in a movie, right? E. And you're going to hold it for as long as you can, but you're not going to be any louder than you need to be to make a nice, clear sound. So don't shortchange it on sound, but don't overdo it. Okay, here we go. Ready? Good. You heard me kind of shaping that a little bit. That's fine. You're always trying to get that really nasal E. So if it seems to slip out of gear, just put it back in place. It's okay. Okay, second one of those. Big breath through your nose. Good, good. Okay, now we're going to switch. We're going to do the glides, and you have 2 ways you're going. You're going from the low note to the high note, and then the high note to the low note. Now this is a situation where I'm going to use a word like whoop, whoop to bring it up there, and you'll hear my sound is very siren-y, and it has to do with the way I'm focusing the sound. You may not be able to do that immediately, but the more you do it, the more it'll be more of a siren and less of a ooh, okay? So what we'll start with is low note to high note. The word is whoop, and I'll demonstrate one, and then we'll do them together. We're just going to do 2 repetitions, okay? Here we go. So it's going to sound like this. All the way up there, really high. We're stretching out a muscle here that's responsible for some pitch changes, and that's what we want to do. Okay, with me, ready? Remember the word is whoop. Okay, here we go. Good. And we'll try that again. Very good. Now we're going to go the other way. So we're going to start high, we're going to go low. The word is boo. So you're going to sound more like a boo, like that. Okay? Follow with me. Big breath through your nose, lengthening breath. Good. When you get to the bottom, you can just stop. Sometimes I open and go, wah, like that, but I don't know if that's that necessary for this. One more time. High to low, the word is boo. Ready? Excellent. Now for the last part of this, this is what's called the power exercise. It's not to be confused with some other branded power approaches. This is an exercise where you're strengthening your ability to hold a pitch at a nice clear tone, and it'll strengthen the muscles that we're trying to strengthen in there. So the word is ol. It's like the word whole without the H, although you can just say the word whole because the H will drop off quickly. And you're going to hold it at one pitch and hold it as long as you can, kind of like at the beginning with the nasal E, except it's going to be a bigger and richer sound, not nasal. Okay, so first pitch is ho. Okay, that's a D, or about a D. Okay, ready? So you're going to take a breath in. You heard me shaping a little bit again. It's changing. If I take too much air away, then it starts to fall apart a little bit, so I got to bring it back up. So you hear me shaping it. That's just fine. Don't worry about that. Just make sure it sounds pretty all the way through. Okay, again through your nose. Good. Now we're going to go up a whole step. So we're going to go to a ho, ho, oh. Okay, same situation. Big breath through your nose. Hold it as long as you can. Good. We'll try that again. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go a little bit higher and we'll do 2 repetitions. The pitch is ho. Okay, ready? Good. Want to try that again? Okay, higher now. Ready? Okay, same pitch again. Good. And then the last pitch, which is going to be the top one, the A. Okay, ready? Good. It's getting a little hard out of my range, so it's a little bit harder. So you'll see me maybe dropping out a little earlier. Don't worry about that. That's good. Just make sure that when you're producing sound, it's a clear, clean sound. Here we go. Ready? Excellent. Don't do this exercise more than twice a day. Actually, if you just did it once a day, that's probably enough for kind of a maintenance thing. And this is, again, not a substitution. It's not something that would replace the loud Oz from an LSVT loud program or all the other pieces. This is something that you can use in a lot of environments when maybe you're not feeling confident that people around you aren't going to come start knocking on the door, okay? Just a fun exercise to work on word evoking while you're doing some other activities. You can do this anywhere, and I'm putting it in a format that you can pretty much pick up on your own. So you're going to go through the letters of the alphabet, and you're going to begin by saying the letter, and then you're going to say a word that begins with that letter, and then you're going to make a sentence that begins with that letter. And if you see I'm putting my hands up each time, that's something you're going to have to keep track of. So for example, if I wanted to start at the beginning, I would say, A, antelope. I made chili out of antelope. It wasn't very good. Okay, so the idea is with the A, with the letter, that's where the power is. You're just going to work on that sound. A, and then you're going to come up with a word. Now you're not going to stretch out that word. That'll sound crazy, but you're going to say, A, avocado. Avocados are getting pretty expensive. Something like that, right? And so I'm using a nice, clear, loud speech, and I'm also working a little bit on the vowel sounds, which is where really the power is. B, Browns. I never expected the Browns to beat the Steelers, right? C, cantaloupe. I usually like cantaloupe over muskmelon, although I can't really tell the difference. D, dog. I used to think dogs were better than cats until I met my dad's cat. Okay, I won't do all these for you, but that's what you can do. You go through each one and see how long it takes for you to go through A, word that begins with A, sentence that uses that word, all the way to Z, because that's what you're trying to work on. You're trying to increase the speed on that while still maintaining the quality, okay? If you want to do a variation, if you get bored with that, you can either go through every other letter of the alphabet, or you can just pick a word and spell the word with the activity. So if I said speak, okay, so S, okay, sand trap. I hit my ball into the sand trap. P, pineapple. I love pineapple juice. E, eggplant. I haven't had eggplant in a decade, and I'm okay with that. Something like that, okay? I hope that helps. Again, these are things that we're trying to give you that you can integrate into your own practice, that you can do without having to actively watch a video. So these are things you can build out on your own and add into your own routine.